Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Sean Preston.
Welcome, everybody, to the Good Neighbor Podcast. Today, we have a great neighbor on with us, and that is the lovely Terri Ridout from EWYN Weight Loss Studio. What's going on, girl?
Hey, everyone. Nothing much.
So I just have to blurt out that me and you had quite the chuckle. I don't believe we've met each other before. If anything, it was really briefly early last year, and I don't even know if you would recognize me because I did not have facial hair at the time. And I kind of looked you up right before I came on the show. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, weight loss. And then I'm holding a bag of Reese's Pieces in my hands.
Oh, that's the best, though.
And then you made me feel quite at ease by talking about the candy that you have stashed at your desk. And then
we all do. We're not
became
best anyone here.
Love it. Okay, so I don't know a whole lot about your business, which is a great place for me because naturally I try to let curiosity lead the conversation. So for our listeners who don't know, tell us what you do.
So we're a health and wellness studio. We specialize in weight management programs, but we also have a retail line that's for like hormone balancing, vitamin deficiencies, metabolism problems, all kinds of things. So we really work on like whole health in our studio. Okay,
so let's unpack this a little bit. I am mildly overweight. What should I be thinking when I think about your business?
The big thing is we kind of have a program that's for everyone, right? We have big programs that are in studio. You're getting lots of one-on-one attention. We're focusing on your nutrition, your portions, your vitamins, everything. And then we have, maybe you want to do it at home. Maybe you're a person that doesn't want all that kind of interaction. So we have online programs and we have do-it-yourself kits. And then we have, like I said, things that are just for you're overweight because your hormones are messed up. Maybe I can give you this, you can take it and deal with it kind of on your own, right?
So kind of like, would you line that up like close to like kind of like a personal coach?
Yeah, so we do have personal health coaches here. So if you want to come in, we do free consultations that you can either ask about like our weight loss programs or just our retail line, and just see what's kind of the right fit for you. Or we have like amazing protein bars and shakes, and you can just come in. We're very friendly.
Okay, so I'm wrapping my head around all of this stuff. So you're pretty much kind of like a one-stop shop when it comes to anything. The second you think, hey, like I want to lose weight, you've got coaches, you have plans that tailor to somebody who's got a lot of weight to lose, or maybe somebody that wants to just tone up. Maybe they don't have the motivation to be able to kind of get past that first hurdle in getting there. And then, of course, supplementing it with supplements, with vitamins, and then health products, protein, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And like the big thing is we have clients that have hundreds of pounds to lose. And then we have clients who are bodybuilders or police officers that want to get down to a certain body fat percentage, and they just can't get there on their own with what they're doing, and they just need a push. So we really have something for everyone. But the best thing is just come in. All the time we hear like, I want to lose weight. I've tried this. I just don't know where to start. Just come in.
Yeah, we're going to get to the misnomer question. I think we'll probably spend a little bit of time on that because I think everybody is going to relate to this episode with weight loss and the struggles in getting there and the shit we tell ourselves in our own mind. Just come in. That's a great saying.
And there's so much information out there, right? You never know what's actually right for you. So one of the big things with our program is doing a lot of journaling and tracking. We have clients who, I have a client who every time they eat zucchini, they gain weight. It's a green vegetable. Their system just can't handle it, right? So you could think you're doing all the right stuff and you're not seeing results, and it's too frustrating. Just come in.
Yeah, amen. Okay, so I love asking this question again because of the curiosity, but everybody seems to have their own path and how they get places. Some people it's just a straightaway, and other people they're taking hard lefts and the Randy's all over the place, and it's like the Mazda 6 commercial. So I'm curious to ask you about your journey into getting into where and why you're doing what you're doing today.
So I've always struggled with my weight. I've been like as much as 50 pounds over my ideal body weight. And I did what everyone else did. I got a gym membership. I tried to clean up my eating. I went to the gym every single day, 5 a.m. And in 6 months, I lost like 3 pounds. And I got so frustrated that I had to ask someone for help. So I reached out to the person who started this program and said, tell me what to do. And I was able to lose a ton of weight pretty quickly. And at the time, I was working at a major gym, and I saw people coming in spending tons and tons of money on training and gyms. And because they don't work so much with nutrition, they just weren't getting the results that they wanted. So after my personal journey, I was like, I can do this for people for cheaper. And I opened a franchise.
Very cool. So did this, is this something that like this is your business that you developed and then you're franchising it out, or did you get in connection with somebody and then they had the franchise?
I bought the franchise from an existing company, the people that I had reached out to do the program with when I wanted to lose weight.
Nice. How have you liked being a business owner, and how long have you been a business owner for?
It's been 7.5 years,
Nice.
and it's been awesome. One of the things I loved about working at the gym was getting to know people and know their goals. But then I would get really frustrated because there's no follow-up. And I'm a really like follow you to the end kind of gal. So doing this, I really can take you from like your start all the way to the end. And it's amazing to see that transformation from like you don't feel good about yourself and you're just not where you want to be to like happy, confident, bubbly, here I am kind of attitude, right? I love it. So
very cool. I feel like follow-up is slowly starting to become a lost art. There's only a handful of people I know that do it and do it well, because it's something that we live in such a busy world in this day and age. It's easy to get sidetracked if you're not going to put it in or write it down to follow up, and then they don't answer because they're busy, and then just going through that same cycle of when you said the word follow-up, I'm like, that's literally my job.
Yeah, right. And that's one of the things, like, honestly, that COVID gave us is we used to just, our doors are open. We have our clients. Please come in a couple times a week. But then with COVID, we had to move more to like an online platform. So now we can message you. And if you can't get into the studio, I can say, how are you doing? Send me your journal. What are you struggling with? What's coming up in your life? And just have that kind of constant communication going, right?
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. Definitely a few silver linings that came out of COVID. And that probably
you got to find something.
Yeah, right. Okay, so let me ask you, because I know there's going to be a few in the world of weight loss. What kind of frequent myths or misconceptions do you get regularly?
So my favorite one is I can't eat potatoes. Potatoes are bad for you. Like, no, potatoes are bad for you if you make them into poutine, but potatoes are good for you. And that's one thing that's like, that's my favorite. And then my second favorite, stop harping on the potato, man. Like, they're catching a bad rap.
They are.
But our second biggest one is that you have to eat less to weigh less. And that's a constant struggle for my clients. I'm always saying, eat more, have another snack. You're missing portions. And it's everyone. It's kind of like, for some reason, instilled in us that if I make a smaller meal, I will weigh less. And that's not usually the case. So that is the biggest misconception.
Where did a lot of your learnings about all this stuff? There's a lot of information. There's a lot of misinformation that's out there. How did you get your knowledge level up on this stuff?
A lot of it is honestly just from being here for so long, because we've been in business for like almost 8 years now. A lot of it is like learn on the go. So I learned a lot in some nutrition programming I did, some personal training programming that I did before I opened the business. But so much more of it is honestly just feedback from my clients and all the journaling and seeing like how does your body reacting to certain things, and just learning, okay, this works and this doesn't, and it's really just like nailed down to a science now.
Yeah, I would imagine there's some serious value that you could offer people based on of what you just said, having that personal experience, because not a lot of people think in their mind that body type has a lot to do with it either.
Yeah, body type, genetics, hormones, like your age, your activity level. There's so many things. You can't just say, well, like, eat cucumbers and soda crackers and you'll lose weight. Like, everyone is so individual. If you don't have a plan specifically for you, like, you're not giving yourself the best setup that you can.
How long are you typically working with people? Do you've got people who just they stay around because they want to, or do you find people they hit their goal and they're like, okay, I'm good, I can manage? Do they check in after a while, or what does that look like?
We have a really good mix of both. So all of our programs, like our big programs, have a stabilization and maintenance program. The longer you stay at your goal weight, the easier it is for you to maintain your goal weight. So we do find that most of our clients hit their goal, do their maintenance, and then we kind of send them on their way. And then they just pop back in for like snacks and just saunter in and be like, hey, I'm fabulous. But we do have some clients that like they hit their goal and they're lifers. They come in every week and they always will. But
Very
like, we're delightful. Who wouldn't want to come hang out with us?
Yeah, well, I'm enjoying the conversation so far, so there must be some truth to that for sure. Okay, great segue, because we're talking about having fun and how awesome you guys are. And so there's, Jeff says this, it's a work-life harmony, because balance is, there's no way we're balancing that. So having a harmony between the two of them. And being a business owner is fun for all of the reasons that we've already mentioned and could continue to mention. But when we're not working on or in the business and you're getting your own Terri time, let's call it, what do you like to do for fun?
Well, I have a 3 and 4-year-old boys, so Terri time is hard to find. We spend a lot of time in play places, but I'm actually secretly like an old lady. I like gardening and canning and sewing and knitting and reading. So you would generally find me in a garden.
Oh my God, you just struck a chord with me. So I am a gardener as well. And
Right?
we're going to talk about this. I just spent 15 minutes on my last show right before if someone's watching back-to-back shows, they're going to be like, fuck, here he goes again. So let's reiterate what I literally just said 20 minutes ago. So in the pandemic, we had all this extra time, right? So I had a huge problem in my front yard. I'm on a corner lot, so I got a big front yard, and I started counting. I kept having the same guy everyone was in a routine. Like I was out there from this time to this time, and you have the same people keep walking their dogs by your home or whatever. And so this one guy is like he's seen me out there, young guy, just plucking dandelions like a machine, right? So he's asking me like, what number are you at? So I started counting. I got to 748 is the last time I'll ever do that again.
Yeah.
Calluses, broken back. Halfway through, I went and actually bought a tool. I got smart about it.
Yeah.
And then I started talking with my mom and saying like, hey, like I've got projects. Everyone was doing projects at the time. I power washed my whole fence in the backyard, stained the whole thing. And I'm like, okay, what else am I going to do? And so my mom's like, you should build a couple of garden boxes. So I started off with 2. I have 7 now.
It spirals.
It spirals out of control, where last year, I mean, I was building my business, so I was just laser focused in and didn't have a whole lot of time to properly take care of it, because I use rain barrels because the water is better, more nitrates, better for the plants, better harvesting yield. But it takes me alone about 45 minutes to do the gardens, from walking back to the front yard to collect the water and so on and so forth. And I'm hoofing 4 watering cans at a time, and it still takes me that long. So this year, I told myself I was going to scale back. My significant other owns a flower shop here in Barrie. And if you now know what you know about me and then take her, she just loves things that grow to begin with.
Yeah.
Now here we go, right? So here's the list. Pole beans, I'm not going to give you the how many squares we got for each, but there's at least 1 or 2. Some of them are 4. So pole beans, cucumbers, broccoli, radish, cauliflower, onions, green onions, peas, peppers. That's in one side of the garden on the far right, 5 tomatoes, 2 different kinds. We have chives, celery. We're going to get into bok choy this year.
Awesome.
Going to try that. Zucchini, eggplant, cherry tomato, and I think, and then lettuce. We're going to do a whole lettuce box. So
Amazing.
lettuce, the whole bit. And then see what kind of, insanity that's going to ensue into my brain about mid-July.
When they all are complete all at once and it's harvest season, you're going to be like, what do I do with everything?
Oh my God, you're going to want to know me when it's that time of year because I'm going to have so much shit. I'm going to have to give it away. So,
amen. I have 2 greenhouses, a product of the pandemic. So I hear you. Yep. Mm-hmm.
I bought a little one this year and I got everything started. Most of it, I'd say 3/4 of it, I got it started from seed. So we'll see how that works, playing around with it. I had the wind blow it and I lost everything. I had to redo it all over last Sunday. It's just a disaster.
It's fine. I'm going to grow all these things and it's going to cost less than the grocery store. And then 7 garden boxes later.
Yeah. So, I mean, for anybody listening to the show who had to absolutely endure that was probably like watching paint dry. The one thing I've had to learn about gardening is to stop looking at it like a chore and start using it as me time. And when I started thinking that way, oh man, it changed the game for me. So, I just thoroughly enjoy it and you have to dedicate the time. So if you just give yourself the time, you kind of take your time with it. And then supposedly if you talk to them, now I'm kind of on the fence on this one. So I started trying, it seems like it works, but if you talk to them, they're pretty happy. And they actually,
I always have music on, so I play music for them.
Nice.
Which is as good as talking to them, I think. So
you have 7 as well, garden boxes in the back?
I don't have 7 garden boxes, but I have 2 like 6 by 9 foot greenhouses, and then I have 2 in-ground gardens, and then I have a garden that's down the side of my house.
Nice. Yeah, that's probably the cat's pajamas having something like that.
Yeah, I have like rhubarb, I have apple trees.
So from a watering perspective, how does that work? You're having to get water from, obviously it's not coming directly from the sky onto the plants because it's covered in a greenhouse. So what's your little tricks there to get them watered?
Between my 2 greenhouses, I have an old wire wheel with a rain barrel on it and then a spigot on the bottom.
Nice. Okay, so you're grabbing your water right there, so you don't have to do what I'm doing and walk.
I keep it really close.
That's so smart. You're smarter than me. I'll tell you that much.
You always ask the laziest person to do the hardest job.
Yeah, very well said. Okay, so let's switch. We'll switch gears to something a little bit more on a serious note. And sometimes in life, we don't necessarily get to dictate a course of action, a path. Sometimes life gets in the way, deals us a deck of cards, and we're forced to play those. And so we go through life challenges, we go through hardships. But what's always fascinated me about human beings is how we overcome those, the resilience to be able to do that, and then find silver linings so we can hang on and keep our mental state in a somewhat positive mind frame and move forward from there. So I'm curious to ask you if you've ever experienced a hardship, a life challenge that you rose above it, and maybe a silver lining or two.
I think kind of like what we talked about earlier with having a non-essential business during COVID. I remember when COVID hit and we thought it was going to be a couple of weeks and then it spiraled. And I thought I'm going to lose my business. I'm going to lose everything that I worked for. And I had a 5-month-old and I was pregnant with my second son at the time. And just trying to find ways to hold it together. My staff were all off and trying to think like, how can I keep this business running so that I have an income, I have a business, and my staff have a job to come back to, because I had 4 staff at the time that were all laid off or working other jobs. And I think just having to switch to an online platform, like any products, I ended up getting like a delivery app, and my 5-month-old and I were doing product deliveries to all of our clients' homes, and just how can we pivot and keep this thing going until we can get our doors open again. And that was an enormous challenge. But I think, like I said, the silver lining is the communication now with our clients has come out so much better. We have even fully online programs for people who pre-pandemic wouldn't have been able to come in, and we wouldn't have had an option for them. So it was an insane time, but it's honest. In the end of the day, it's helped us really expand our business. So
yeah, a lot of times if you're always you're flying so fast, give you an opportunity to take a quick pivot to look back and see, hey, this can be improved in certain areas. And it's done that for a lot. Some businesses actually went all full on digital. Talk to a financial advisor these days, you ain't going to an office most of the time. Right? You're doing it over Zoom, right?
Yeah, we prefer that personal touch. We want to come in, see you face to face, and like really know who we're talking to. And we love that in-person interaction, but we have learned that's just not feasible for a lot of people right now. So
yeah, for sure. I'm a big proponent on that too. Just the digital age really pushed a lot of things to the side, and that human to human interaction in person is something that I think people are starting to a lot more today than maybe in previous years past, to look and say, hey, like I miss that. I want to have a little bit more interaction. It's been like that for centuries and centuries and centuries.
100%. Yeah.
I definitely don't want to lose sight of that human interaction is it's a pretty special thing.
Yeah, agreed.
What's one thing that you wish our listeners knew about your business?
So many things. The big thing is you don't have to come in and sign up for a huge program just to come in and get help, right? You can come in, you can talk to a health coach for free. You can tell us what's going on and we'll give you a recommendation. It doesn't cost anything. Just come in.
Yeah, I could see that being probably the main roadblock for most people. Is
we've had consultations booked, and we see people drive in and sit in their car in the parking lot and sit there for 5 or 10 minutes and then drive away. And it's heartbreaking because we're here to help. We're not judging. It doesn't cost anything. Just come in.
Yeah, I think that's what's nice about something like this. You know, sometimes people are embarrassed of their situation and they got it in their mind that they're going to get judged or, you know, something along those lines. And so I could see in people's mind how they would waste all that time and money to just get to the parking lot only to turn away after, where now somebody can watch us for 25 minutes and really get the gist of who you guys are and that you're there to help.
We have our pictures up on the wall too. Everyone who works here has struggled. And we have our start pictures and our after pictures. So we're transparent with where we've come from too. So we know how hard it is. We know what it feels like to not feel good in your skin, right?
Yeah, no, 100%. Okay. And if there's anybody who's listening that wants to know a little bit more how to get a hold of you guys, what's the best way that they can go ahead and do that?
Other than just coming in, our Facebook page is great. We have, you can book your own appointments on there. You can pick your services, whether you want retail or a full consultation, and book it at your convenience.
And if they wanted to come in, where could they find you?
We're at 353 Ann Street North. So we're between Sunnydale and Livingston. I'm
about a 10-minute walk to your business from where I'm located.
And good cardio. You can do it in 8.
Yeah, I ran with my dog to the Bayfield Ford once. I had to go pick up my car. It was just under 5K. It's not a bad little run.
Good for you.
Very cool. Well, thank you very much, Terri, for coming on the show. Sounds like you got a great business. Really happy to allow you guys to tell your story, and looking forward to doing this potentially down the line.
Yeah, it's been great. Thanks for having us.
No worries, anytime.
Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast Midhurst. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnpmidhurst.com. That's gnpmidhurst.com or call 705-413-3775.